Good morning, Doctor. We are from Section 2 Data Analytics for Organization, and we are chosen the data set 5, the word happiness and corruption, and this is our team member for Group 16.
Hello people, so today we are going to talk about a little bit on world happiness and corruption. The data is from 2015 and 2020. Myself, my name is Mali Arson, so today I'm going to present to you about how is happiness distributed globally. So for that we're going to take the data, which is happiness score, and put it on the color. So for the color, better visual, we're going to take a red, green diverging. So the color look perfect, so we can easily look at the data. So the most greenest country will have a happiness score which is so high, and the most reddish country which is like Afghanistan or our Tanzania, which is having like a lowest happiness score. So from these data manipulation, data analytics, we can look at the data in better ways. So we can see most of the African continent and Asian continent which is having happiness score which is like kind of low, and most of the Europe countries and American countries and Australian continent is having a better and higher happiness score. But why is it happening? Let's look in our next part of the video.
So we will know the relationship between wealth and happiness, so we put the GDP first and the happiness score. Both are dimension. And so we can see a line trend between them. The higher the wealth, the higher the happiness they are. So we just put the continent first with the level. So we can see mostly Europe is the highest GDP, the highest happiness, where Africa is vice versa, and to the country with the color. You can see there's quite messy, but then we can just add a filter to solve it with the continent. So we can just see Africa, there's Asia, and this is Australia. So you can see basically Australia is quite high.
Okay, the third one is the corruption factor. I make the dashboard by breaking four of my map like this, breaking like this. This is the four of my map that I did. And this the first map is the corruption map. I put the corruption CPI score to the upper one, the column and the rows, so you can see as here is a map. And I changed the average CPI score into the color, the red green color, so that you can see the red means that the CPI score is low, that means it's very corruption. And the detail are the company, so it is divided by the company. And the corruption versus the happiness, I break the average, I change the average with the CPI score and happiness score. So we can see the lower the corruption, the higher the happiness. Yeah. And this is the country and the sentiment, you can see here. Okay, this is the average corruption score by continent. I also use this one, the sorting, to sort from low to high and by different country, the continent. Okay, and this one, color are also based on the average of the CPI score. And this one are the corruption trends. I use the year and also the average CPI score. The color I also use the continent. Yeah, that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gong Wei. So now I'm going to talk about the region happiness component ranking, which what makes a country or region happy. So we drag the continent to the rows, and then we drag the measure values to the column. Note that we need to use average instead of sum to avoid the effect of number of countries in the region. So I also created a term called combined social, which is not since before 2020 it used the term family, but in year 2020 it used the term social support. So it shows that before year 2020, it used the term family, but in year 2020, it used the term social support. Okay, and then we need to drag the measure names to the color to show the different for each component of ranking. And then we sort the continent based on ranking. So you can note that the Australia is the highest and the Africa is the lowest. So Australia has very similar average for each components, which shows balance happiness component. But for Africa, besides comparable average dystopia residual, it has more less score for each component compared to others region. I'm going to talk about happiness trend from 2015 to 2020, which asks, does the world become happy over time? So we drag the year at columns, and then not each need to be discrete to show specific year, and then we drag the happiness score as to the rows, and then continent as our filters, and then it shows the happiness trend from year for each continent. So we can conclude that basically the world doesn't get more happy over over these 6 years, since the line shows very flat pattern for each continent.